Jim Lentini from Malloy University, Maury McGinnis from Stony Brook University, and Susan Poser from Hofstra University. I am also thrilled to welcome back to campus my colleagues who are members of the Regional Economic Development Council, the LIRDC. They have done so much for this region very quietly but very effectively, and I can tell you from experience, it is the best REDC in the state of New York. No SUNY campus could have a better relationship with its surrounding municipality than FSC. Joining us, as always, are Babylon Town Supervisor Rich Schaefer and members of the Town Board. It sounds like a bad rock band. Rich and the Town Board. It sounds like something from the 60s. So. Yeah. In addition, Long Island is very, very fortunate to be well represented in the New York State Legislature. With us today are State Senator Kevin Thomas, Assemblymember Taylor Darling, and Assemblymember Chuck Levine. Farmingdale State College is especially lucky because we have not 2, but 3 state legislators, all of whom are great friends of the college, and 2 of whom are joining us this morning. Assemblymember Kimberly Jean-Pierre, who is retiring, and our state senator, Senator Monica Martinez. Welcome, Monica. We are particularly pleased to welcome back to campus the Chancellor of the State University of New York, John B. King. Chancellor King truly has partnered with Governor Hochul and the state legislature to deliver great results for New York's colleges and universities, and we appreciate that. Chancellor King is joined this morning by Dr. Guillermo Linares, President of the Higher Education Services Corporation. Dr. Linares, welcome. I told Dr. Linares that I refer to him as the Titan of TAP. So. Governor Kathy Hochul is no stranger to Farmingdale State College. Since she began as Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul has always been supportive of Farmingdale, SUNY, higher education in our state, and indeed the Long Island region as a whole. That commitment only grew after she became governor in 2021. She has visited this campus many times and has constantly championed initiatives that are vital to this region, our colleges, and our students. These include her focus on and investments in renewable energy and our Offshore Wind Training Institute, as well as her support for countless initiatives through the REDC. Now, because of her advocacy and her support and the support of our regional partners, we are nearly set to break ground here on a new computer science building, positioning us to serve as Long Island's high technology workforce institution for years to come. Over the past 2 years, Governor Hochul's support for SUNY, for higher education, for student success, and for college affordability have reached new heights with increases in funding levels that have not been seen in over 5 decades. We appreciate it. These include direct support of nearly $300 million in just 2 years, the expansion of the tuition assistance program to include part-time students, particularly relevant here, and now a dramatic, historic expansion of TAP eligibility. Thank you, Governor Hochul. We are grateful for your leadership and your continued investments in the future of Long Island and in the future of higher education. You have always been a friend to Farmingdale. You have always been a friend to New York's college and university students. Everyone, please join me in welcoming back to Farmingdale the 57th governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thank you so much. It is so great to be back here again, and what a great leader we have in John Nader. I want to thank you for your kind remarks, but also your stellar leadership of this incredible organization. Let's give him another round of applause. You know, the last time I spoke to a large group here, it was for your 2020 graduation, except it was large only online. It was a Zoom graduation. So that is one of the reasons why I am committed to ensuring that all of our students in the state of New York have the privilege of walking across that stage proudly in front of their families, and we'll make sure we get it through safely. So thank you, all of my partners. You know, you mentioned the $75 million Computer Science Center. I was really proud to announce that because that is foundational. That is going to give the new technologies to our students, and people want to get training in these new areas. I'll be mentioning our Empire AI initiative in a few moments, but it all ties together. But it all happens because I also have incredible partners in our state legislature, and I want to recognize them. I know they're recognized, but they deserve even more recognition. Our state Senator Monica Martinez, thank you. We'll be hearing from her in a couple of minutes. Home District, Kimberly Jean-Pierre, thank you. You've done a great, great job fighting for all of our students. Appreciate that. Assemblymember Taylor Dowling is with us. You've heard, I'll mention her again. Assemblymember Chuck Levine and our Senator, I think Senator Kevin Thomas has joined. Let's, please, everybody from the legislature, stand up, stand up. Yeah. And you don't spend 14 years as a local town board member without giving special credit to our town supervisor, Richie Schaefer, and the entire town board, because I know how hard you work. I'll be introducing John King as well, but we are so blessed that you said yes. We recruited you heavily. We wanted you to be the face of my investment, our investments in taking SUNY to the place that I've always thought it should be, and that is the premier higher educational institution in the United States of America, and we are on our way there, and I want to thank John King for all his work. Guillermo Linares, thank you. You're a longtime head of the Higher Education Services Corporation. Yes, every other word that comes out of his mouth is, can you do more for TAP? Can you do more for TAP? So yes, 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 we are. We also be hearing from a student, Marco Iorio, who is on his way to a PhD, is that right? Really proud of that, so let's give him a round of applause. As I said when I outlined my vision, my first Day of the State address, which was in 2022, I laid out a vision for making SUNY the preeminent higher education system in the nation. I just said that because I believe in this. Since then, we've been laser focused on investing in facilities, in faculty, in research, initiatives to make college education more affordable and more accessible to even more New Yorkers. I view a SUNY education and all higher education as a ladder of opportunity that students and their families can climb to lift them out of their circumstances. And I've told this story before, and you're going to hear it again, about how education, higher education, changed my family's circumstances. My parents started living in a trailer park when they were first married, got married very young. Dad worked at the steel plant, but we decided to go to college at night, at the end of the day. And he worked long and hard. When he finally got that college degree, we have a photo of my brother, who was a year old, and my mother very expectant with me any day now. So that's how our family started. My dad had the power of that degree, that ticket to success, that led him to other opportunities and allowed my family to leave our circumstances and to continue to grow and to prosper. That is what I want and I expect for every student who chooses to do so for their families, to have that same opportunity, that or workforce training, apprenticeship programs, the countless ways that we do not have to be stuck and mired down, because the circumstances for those who only have a high school degree or less, economically, they can't afford to live in a great place like Long Island. It just will not work for them. So that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So I'm going to talk about a few more actions, how to make New Yorkers find college, higher education more affordable, starting right here at Farmingdale. When I realized that the tuition assistance program, a minimum award, had not been increased 25, 30 years. I look back, I said, this program was started in 1974. It has helped millions attend college. But does anybody think that the cost of college has stayed the same since 1974? We all wish. It just didn't. And for there not to be a recognition that over the last 25 years, that everything has gotten more expensive, including the cost of tuition, all their expenses go up on our campuses, that we're leaving kids behind, leaving young people behind. And even the idea of having part-time students eligible, why did it take me to have to become governor for someone to stand up and say, let's just do it? Why didn't we do this a long time ago? You know, 60%, 10 years ago, 60% of TAP recipients completed their 4-year degrees in 6 years, compared with the 26% completion rate for those who did not get that assistance. You know why? Because if you don't have enough to pay for the 4 years, you're taking a semester off. You're saying, well, I'll try to earn some more money. Then you try another semester. Then you try another semester after you've worked for a little while. You don't have that uninterrupted flow of education because it's just too expensive. Our progress has stalled. The minimum TAP award was $500 since 2000. The average tuition was just $3,000 at a college campus. Now the average at even a public institution is $7,000, and the award was still stuck at $500. So we'll change that. Why don't we start by doubling that TAP award from $500 to $1,000 starting now? Also raise the limit for dependent students from $80,000 to $125,000, and recognizing that $125,000 isn't what it used to be either. Married students, raising it from $40,000 to $60,000. Independent students, raising it from $10,000 to $30,000. This all needs to be adjusted. Otherwise, that ladder of opportunity comes crashing down. We have to build that ladder back up. And this is a grant. This is not a loan, does not have to be paid back. And we expect to benefit more than 90,000 more students, 90,000 students, and 48,000 of which are newly eligible because we changed those standards. We want students from all backgrounds to come to places like those colleges represented here today. These are outstanding institutions. This is what we brag about all the time. Long Island has the finest public and private schools you can imagine, all right here. And families who live here want to have their children close by if they can, their young adults, because then they'll learn here, they'll stay connected to their communities, they'll come back, become entrepreneurs, go on for higher education, even beyond, and there's no stopping them. So also financial aid is a key, right? Let me tell you about a breakfast I had with John King. I said, you're my new chancellor, our new chancellor. What are some of your ideas? What have you seen elsewhere? What are we not doing in the state of New York? And he gave up some observations, and perhaps he'll talk about this. FAFSA. Anybody go through the trauma of filling out that form a long time ago? Oh my God. It has been such a hassle that parents and young people just want to throw it away. There was a young woman we were helping who was connected to our family and her non-existent parents. And I remember sitting in a diner. She asked me if I'd help her fill it out, and I didn't want her to see the look on my face, like, I don't know what to do here. Call in my husband, call in people. How do we figure this out? Why was it so hard? So guess what? People didn't do it. They left millions and millions of dollars on the table right here in the state of New York, untapped, no pun intended, because it was just too much of a hassle. Our submissions are now down 24%. So our budget said, no, we're going to change this. We're going to tell every high school, you owe one more thing to these students is before they pass through your doors. You must make sure that they fill out their application. Every single high school senior will fill out the FAFSA application. They will have access now. Because last year, seniors left $225 million in TAP money on the table unused in the state of New York. I want every penny of that gone. So that's how we start. Guidance counselors, teachers in high schools, bring them in, help them fill out the forms, help the parents who are struggling and can't figure it out themselves like most of us. We want the students to use that money. And we don't want them to fall through the cracks just because the paperwork was so complicated. We know the federal government is making it simpler. They have their own challenges right now. They'll figure it out. Everything gets figured out. And we wait for that to occur because right now it's been a frustrating year and applications are down and our college presidents know that. But we want to make sure that they receive the best education eligible for them. And we're continuing our work here. And I want to make sure we continue investing in SUNY, $396 million in new state operating support for our campuses in CUNY and downstate, SUNY downstate. We have to put money where our mouths are. You can't just say, SUNY, we want you to be better. Go at it. We need the resources for you to implement the visions that you've developed with your teams, your trustees, your students, and also making sure that we have equal funding for every one of our institutions, baseline minimums. We want to make sure we prevent $143 million in lost support that will come back now, $13 million more for community colleges, and that's all on top of $1.13 billion for capital projects for all of our institutions. And also, how are we going to build these projects? Anybody from labor in the house? You got it. Let's hear it for labor. We've adopted a new project labor agreement with SUNY, which says large-scale projects, big construction projects, should be done with fair labor practices in place. And I want to thank Matty Arasich, President of the Building Trades of Nassau and Suffolk Counties, Ryan Stanton, thank you, Ryan, Executive Director of Long Island Federation, and Vinny Alu for the business agent for Local 66, all the work you're going to be doing right here. So thank you. Any project more than $10 million will fall under this agreement, underscoring our commitment to ensuring that the men and women of labor have access to these great paying jobs and making sure that our SUNY institutions are made with the highest quality labor there is. Also, talk about building. I think you've all know this about me. I want to build more housing. Anybody else here want more housing built? Yes. Yes. So, a lot of ways to do this. A lot of ways. One way is, and I directed my teams to do this over the last year, identify all the state-owned property that could be repurposed, utilized, especially those next to transportation hubs. What a radical idea. Build housing near transit so people don't have to have a vehicle. They can actually get to their jobs, get around, build little communities around our train stations. I've seen Richie Schaefer do this. He's the master at this. You want to know how it's done, look at what he's done in his community. So today we've announced that there's an RFP out there to develop new mixed-use housing on 13 acres of DOT land just down the road. That's how it starts. We'll put out the RFP, look forward to bids. We're asking developers to bring creative ideas to us so we can continue doing. This is part of our landmark housing deal, the one that everybody said we couldn't get done, and we did. And I want to again thank all my partners in legislature. Because I know Suffolk County wants housing. You know, our county executive was at another event this morning. We've had a lot of conversations with Ed Romaine about this. And we saw that in Suffolk County, from 2012 to 2022, you know how much housing grew? I can do it on one hand. I can do it on half of one hand. It is 2%. That's the housing growth here. You know what other suburban areas around us? Connecticut, New Jersey, Washington metro area, Philly. I don't want to tell you, but they cleaned our clock. They built, and when you think about the places that New Yorkers migrate to when they make that wrong decision to leave our state, they're going not just to warmer states, 3 top out of 5, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. The only reason is they build more housing, and it's so therefore because there's more supply, prices go down, supply and demand. We've been dwarfed. Our ambition has been dwarfed by other areas. Is anybody okay with that? I'm not. I'll tell you right now. I am competitive. We have a little bit of catching up to do. We'll start with looking at these properties and working with our forward-thinking supervisors and local officials and the county executives who do understand that the way you keep people living on Long Island is you give them housing options. So seniors have a place to downsize to so they can stay close to their families when they don't need the big house. Their families can raise their kids in the same great neighborhood, in the same great schools that they had access to. Why would we deny that? And we're going to continue investing in the Long Island Railroad, which was an incredible lifeline that creates so many more opportunities for people to get to jobs that otherwise would have been not accessible. So that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to build the housing, we're going to give young people the training, and we're also going to make sure we have the jobs for them to stay right here on Long Island. And that's why we're committing $431,000 for new modern air traffic control simulation technology to train the next generation of air traffic controllers. You know why we have such a difficulty with airlines and how long you're waiting on the tarmac and why you can't get flights that are accessible anymore? It all comes down to a shortage of air traffic controllers. I've talked to all the CEOs. We have more young people trained, and these are great paying jobs. Federal government's listening to us to make it easier so everybody doesn't have to go to one place in Oklahoma to get their training. I said, no, we're pretty smart here too. I guarantee we can do this in New York. So we're going to invest the money to allow for more capacity, to allow more people, and I want more people of color and young women heading into these careers because you can support your own family. This is how we start changing lives, these kind of investments. Right now, we have 1,000 fewer air traffic controllers than we did 10 years ago. Does that make you feel safe? No. We can fix it right here. So the TRACON facility in Westbury, which handles air traffic control for New York City airports, is only staffed at 58% right now. Okay, we're going to solve that. This is part of my commitment. Finding areas where help is needed, because when we fix this, the growth can be explosive around this. So we're going to continue doing this. The simulator is on the way. Our investments, but talking about investments in new technologies. All right, this is the one I get to brag about. Empire AI. You know what that means? It means we are on the cusp of greatness, that we have seized the future. I said whoever owns this next era of artificial intelligence will own our destiny and the future. No other state in the nation has decided to make the kind of commitment we have. Yes, you hear about supercomputers, but you know what? They're all being built by large private companies. They're not saying, let's invest millions of dollars into this great computer, and shouldn't we be sharing this resource with the community and students, researchers? Nobody's doing it, and it's wildly expensive. That's why the state of New York says, we're in. Thank you, legislator, for buying into this vision of $275 million to build a powerhouse supercomputer. We'll have a consortium. I have private dollars coming in. I have universities that are buying into this. SUNY's bought into this. CUNY's bought into this. Private institutions have bought in to create access for their students and their faculty to innovate the solutions that we've all been waiting for. Medical breakthroughs, how we deal with climate change, how we can look at buildings and our coastlines and places here on Long Island and figure out, using artificial intelligence, how we solve those challenges of climate change and resiliency, and how we can make sure our roads and bridges are safe. There's no limit to this, and it will be responsible AI. It will be responsible. I'm working with the legislature to continue legislating to make sure that we're protecting our kids and others from, and individuals from falsifying images. We know there's some dark side to it too, just like there was a dark side to the internet. But does anybody think it's smart to go back to the pre-internet days just because of some challenges? I say no. I say we lean into this. I say we lean into this. And I will tell you this, other governors, other states are saying, we wish we had thought of this, but you will be first. We are going to make sure that we are the home of the burgeoning AI industry, and we know that this is going to be part of the global economy. It's expected to reach $1.3 trillion by 2030, and I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that. We're getting that right here. So I've already heard from some of our professors that they were thinking of leaving their positions because they've been lured to other states, and when they heard about this, they changed their plans. And they decided they could go after federal research dollars. They can attract more students here. When you can tell students from other places and our own, Don't go anywhere else because you're going to miss the great wave. We're going to build this on a SUNY campus. We're going to make sure the money's there. And my goal is to get this moving as fast as possible. I have 2 chairs of my commission overseeing this. One is the CEO of IBM, and the other one is the CEO of Girls Who Code, a program that I believe in, is we can help bringing more young women of color into these jobs. Because again, just like the others I mentioned, this is where you can take care of your family. You can be self-supporting if you need to. So this is what I get so excited about education. There's no stopping us. We continue investing in our young people. Let them know they matter, they have value, and we're expecting great things from them. High expectation. This is investing in the prosperity of our state. And I can't think of a better endeavor. And all of you here today are equally committed. I'm grateful for that, and I want to thank all of you for being here to hear these announcements. Thank you. Thank you. And with that, let me bring up the architect of many of these great ideas, our champion for the SUNY system and CUNY system, as well as all of our private institutions. He's worried about everybody, he takes care of everybody, and that is our great chancellor, John King.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with all our colleagues and partners in government, in business and labor, and the higher education sector, and it's always great to join the Farmingdale community. It's wonderful to hear from the governor this morning about her commitment, and honestly, when I was deciding to take the role as chancellor, one of the key factors in the decision was the governor's clarity in her charge to us at SUNY to make sure that SUNY is the best public higher education system in the country. And so I'm so grateful to you, Governor, for your commitment to higher education and to SUNY in particular. Can we have another round of applause for the governor? Now, in fulfilling that charge from the governor, we set out 4 core pillars in our work at SUNY. One is, first and foremost, student success. We want every New Yorker to know there's a place for them at SUNY, and we want all of our students who come to us to finish with a meaningful degree or credential. And I want to appreciate Farmingdale's dedicated work to make sure that they provide all of the supports to students. One of my recent visits to Farmingdale was to spend time with veteran students. And Farmingdale is really a leader within the SUNY system in providing the supports to our students who have served the country to make sure that they get excellent educational opportunities and are prepared for success. Our second pillar is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And you can just look around this room. But it's so representative of who Farmingdale is, that this is a place where we know that diversity makes us stronger, that our classroom discussions are richer, our faculties are better, our communities are healthier when we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. So while other states may be going backwards, what we say in New York is that diversity makes us better, makes us stronger. Our third pillar is around research and scholarship, because that is core to what we do in higher education, and we're proud to partner with so many of our colleagues in the private higher education sector, with our partners at Brookhaven Lab, to make sure that New York is a leader in research. And I want to particularly shout out Maury McGinnis from Stony Brook. You know, Stony Brook is a national leader in research, whether you're talking about quantum physics or about tackling the issues of climate change. And just last year, it was announced that Stony Brook will lead the development of a $700 million climate resilience campus on Governor's Island off the coast of New York, an extraordinary achievement for Stony Brook. And our fourth pillar is around economic development and upward mobility. And that's very much a part of the SUNY tradition for 75 years, making sure that folks can access opportunity. And that is all made possible. Our progress on all of those pillars made possible by the governor's commitment and investment along with her partners in the legislature. We have so many great champions of SUNY here with us. And I want to just shout out a couple of those investments, just echo and reinforce some of the things that the governor highlighted. You know, we know that students who graduate with a college degree likely earn more than $1 million more over their lifetime. But for so many students and families, they're struggling with how will we be able to afford college. Although we work hard to keep SUNY affordable, they're struggling with those decisions. They're sitting at a kitchen table today wondering, do we have enough? Can we make it work? And Governor Hochul is making sure that the answer is yes. You can make it work. And we're doing that through the universal FAFSA that Governor Hochul described, making sure students know the dollars that are available to them. But these changes to TAP are transformative. For SUNY, it will mean 44,500 students who will see their financial aid increase as a result of the TAP reforms. We're advancing these pillars through capital investments, and the announcement today about project labor agreements and the state's continued investment in capital is critical. We need the buildings, we need the labs, we need the spaces where students can learn and thrive, and we're very grateful to the governor's commitment to that work and proud to work with our partners in labor to make our buildings at SUNY extraordinary for our students. Now, President Nader mentioned that the last 2 years of aid represent the largest operating aid increase for SUNY in 5 decades. It's extraordinary. But I want to say what that's making possible. Last year, because of the operating aid increase, we were not only able to give double-digit percentage increases in aid to every single one of our SUNY campuses, but we were able to invest $10 million in mental health services, $10 million in supports for students with disabilities, $10 million in internships, because our goal is for every SUNY undergraduate to have an internship experience. We were able to put $10 million towards accelerating our progress on research, and we were able to invest in addressing food insecurity, food pantries on every one of our campuses to make sure that our students never go hungry. So those operating dollars are making a day-to-day difference in the lives of our students. And on economic development, the governor has made SUNY a central partner in so many areas for the future of the state's economy. The Offshore Wind Institute, that's a partnership of Farmingdale and Stony Brook and so many of our other campuses, is going to help us prepare the green jobs workforce we need. I was with the governor last week and the president at an announcement in Syracuse around Micron. That's going to come and bring 50,000 jobs to the central New York region. And New York is a leader in the semiconductor industry because of the investments we've made in research around the semiconductor industry and the willingness to partner with industry to advance that industry in New York. We're leading the way on healthcare and closing the gap in the desperate need for nurses throughout the state because of the state's partnership with SUNY. And the governor talked about Empire AI. We have a tremendous opportunity to lead in artificial intelligence, to lead in research for the public good, using artificial intelligence to tackle challenges in healthcare and advanced manufacturing. But we also have the opportunity to grow businesses in artificial intelligence that will drive future economic growth in the state. And we have the opportunity to lead in cybersecurity. And I know that's a place where Farmingdale does excellent work. And we are working in our community colleges as well to make sure we prepare the workforce we need in those fields. So really just incredibly grateful to be here to celebrate the governor's commitment and investment in SUNY. I want to again recognize our legislative partners. And before I introduce Senator Martinez, I do want to say a word about John Nader, who is an extraordinary leader. The governor celebrated John's leadership and service. When we started this event, John still says he's retiring. I'm hoping he's changed his mind over the course of the event. But John is an extraordinary leader. We're so grateful to you. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Senator Martinez, who's a great champion of SUNY. She's also, like me, has her roots in the classroom as an educator, so I deeply admire her public service, grateful for her being a tireless advocate for K-12 students and higher education students. Senator Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. It really is a pleasure to be here once again at Farmingdale State College. To all my colleagues who are here from all levels of government, thank you. To our governor, we love when you're here on Long Island, and thank you for once again coming down. To President Nader, we love you. We appreciate everything you've done and continue to do for our students here at Farmingdale State College. Chancellor King, thank you for always having your phone available and always having an open door. And I do want to say first, before I continue, Farmingdale State College participated in the Session Assistant Program, where you have students from SUNY campuses come and they serve as session assistants for us legislators in the both Senate and the Assembly. And I had one from Farmingdale State College. Only two went from Farmingdale, and one of them was mine, Liam Tierney. And I have to give him a shout out because he was amazing. I did try to keep him longer. He said, I'm going to go make more money somewhere else. I said, I don't blame you. But again, thank you all for being here today. As you know, a budget is a compromise of deeply held convictions packaged as a spending plan. But one of the priorities that I see my colleagues here at the state, our priority was to find that common ground, to see what benefits Long Islanders, because that's our responsibility as state legislators representing Long Island. And I'm glad to see our members here, my friends and colleagues, both in the Assembly and the Senate. Senator Thomas, I'm going to miss you. You and I have been great partners in ensuring that both Nassau and Suffolk gets their fair share. So. But as we continue with the budgets, which lasted weeks, we remain committed to the interest of Long Islanders, and by upholding these values, we were successful in advocating and advancing the needs of Suffolk residents. There were many wins for Long Island families, but probably none bigger than education. As a former teacher, as a former principal, I can tell you the importance of funding our education system. We know that the greatest investment that can be made in our future is within the area of education. And this year's budget, 2025 fiscal budget, makes record investments in our schools, students, and colleges. Governor, thank you. As mentioned, $114 million year-over-year increase in aid for SUNY to support faculty and staff, and in turn, support students across all state-operated campuses. This critical infusion of funds into the SUNY system will empower our campuses, faculty, and student body to excel. Having benefited from the SUNY system myself, go Seawolves and go Bearcats. I hope you know who they are. But I am a proud SUNY graduate, both at the undergraduate level and as well as my administrative degree from Stony Brook. And knowing that I benefited back in the 1990s, and even then, it was somewhat still expensive, and TAP was still back low. I remember doing those FAFSA applications, but I was fortunate enough to have a brother and a sister who came before me, who had already done that and had gone through the process, so they really did it for me. But not everybody has that, so I'm really glad that we are letting our schools help our students getting those FAFSA applications filled out. So again, Governor, thank you for that. With TAP, and I know we put, pun on words, but they're tapping now into TAP because they were untapped funds. And the fact that we're leaving so much money on the table that our students are not taking in, this is absurd, right? I mean, we're trying to make college affordable, education affordable, and it's there. So making this process easier for them will benefit our students. So again, thank you. But we cannot get to higher ed without investing in our lower education, which again, thank you, Governor, both Assembly, on the Assembly side, Speaker Carl Hastie, and my leader, Senator Stewart Cousins, and my colleagues, and myself, advocating for the funding for our K through 12 schools as well, because in order for them to get into the trajectory of higher ed, we need to invest in our lower education as well. So again, thank you, Governor, for that. And just to be specific, in this budget, Long Island schools will receive $205.6 million in additional aid, which translates, for my district, a 4.3% year-over-year increases. But again, this would not have been able to happen without my colleagues, both the governor, our leaders in the Senate, and as well as our leader in the Assembly. And I know that we have our men and women in labor here. Thank you for always advocating, and I'm so glad we were able to get the PLA in there, making sure that our buildings are being constructed, taken care of by our men and women in labor. Thank you again for all your hard work that you do every single day. And though you see these are great notable wins in championing the priorities of Long Islanders within this year's budget, we enacted crucial investments that not only elevate our region, but also resonate across New York State. By ensuring Long Island's values are reflected in our state policies, we're not only meeting the needs of Nassau and Suffolk counties, but we're also propelling the entire state forward. Governor, thank you again for your leadership and for understanding the needs of Long Island as they greatly differ from other parts of the state. Thank you for your commitment to maintaining the beautiful landscape of suburbia, which Long Islanders call home, which I call my home. And I look forward to our continued partnership in ensuring Long Island gets its fair share. And now I have the honor, and also as a bittersweet, to introduce my friend and my colleague, who is also retiring from the New York State Assembly, Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre, who I'm going to miss because she has been a staunch advocate for education. She has been a partner with me, and I promise to continue your advocacy because I love the district that we now share. Kimberly Jean-Pierre.
Thank you. I haven't left, so we still have more work to do. Session ends the second week of June. Good morning. I just love being on this campus, and that's because of the Farmingdale University gets it, and it has the staunch leaders such as yourself, President John Nader. The incoming president has big shoes to fill. And to our governor, Kathy Hochul, we do love seeing you on Long Island. Thanks for being here. And to my leader, Carl Hastie, and to the Senate Majority Leader, and to all my colleagues who've worked so hard on an incredible budget and bringing back dollars to Strong Island. So I want to thank you. I am proud of all of our investments in education, starting with our support for college students. I stand here before you as a proud product of public institutions. From public schools to CUNY to SUNY, I'm a recipient of Pell, TAP, EOP, HEOP. I understand firsthand the benefits of these programs. I remember going to Albany as a college student and as a NYPIRG intern in advocating for increased funding. The past budget, my fellow peers, are heard. We increased the minimum TAP award to 1,000 and raised student income limits by increasing the financial thresholds and awards. We are just not opening the doors to nearly 5,000 additional students, but we are also investing in the future of our state's workforce and economy. TAP plays a significant role in making education more accessible, and as we improve it, we uplift the entire communities and build a stronger, more inclusive New York. I would like to thank Chancellor King for his partnership and leadership on the Black Leaders Institute. And this year's budget continued its $350,000 to support enhanced professional development for SUNY faculty and staff of color. As a Black woman in government leadership position, passing this bill was personally important to me. This program not only invests in the future of SUNY, but also serves as a critical platform for nurturing and advancing Black leadership in academia, ensuring diverse voices are represented at the highest level of our college and universities. As we invest in higher education, we also must invest in K through 12 to better prepare our students for college. We call it college readiness. This is why I'm happy that the state will be moving forward with a foundation aid study supported by a $2 million allocation to update the foundation aid formula. A change to New York State's outdated funding formula is long overdue. I am hopeful that this study can help create a more equitable system. the current antiquated funding formula negatively impacts many school districts right here on Long Island. I was proud that we were able to secure $2 million to fund the Amityville Union Free School District to keep the doors open and save 32 teachers. So as we go in Teachers Appreciation Week, Governor, and to my colleagues, they thank you. So we can give that a round of applause. We saved 32 teachers. This budget reflects our commitment to enhancing the quality of life for all New Yorkers, subsequently investing in education, healthcare, housing, environmental conservation. I remain committed to bringing resources right back here to Long Island up until June. But so thank you so much, and I have the distinct honor of introducing a SUNY, soon-to-be SUNY grad, right here at East Farmingdale, Marco E. Oreo.
Okay, I don't know how to follow all of those excellent speakers, but I'll try. So hello, everyone. Thank you all for having me. My name is Marco Iorio. I'm a senior in my last semester, majoring in electrical engineering technology with a dual minor in applied mathematics and legal studies. Today, I'm sharing with you the incredible journey that financial assistance paved for me in completing my undergraduate degree. It began my senior year of high school, and I was struggling to keep up in a sea of endless scholarship applications. Despite the countless hours poured into applying, I received only one four-year scholarship. As a first-generation college student and son of a single-parent household, I felt the weight of funding the majority of my education looming over me. But then, I found a lifeline: financial aid through state and federal sources. In my decision to attend Farmingdale State College, I sought out on-campus work-study opportunities. I enjoyed my time as a student assistant for my major's department for 3 years and became a familiar face for many students in my major. I completed 4 life-changing internships, served as a peer tutor for the tutoring center, and pursued faculty-led research as a CSEP student. Fast forward to today, and on the brink of graduation, I'm immensely grateful and proud to say that I'm graduating with a high-quality education and debt-free. This financial freedom has not only helped me to focus on my studies, but also start saving for my future endeavors. And my story doesn't end there. As I prepared to embark on my journey towards a PhD in electrical engineering at Arizona State University, I am proof that with some grit, hard work, and a lot of support, you can create the life you want. This financial stability, made possible through the support of Farmingdale State College, SUNY, federal and state government aid, and student employment programs, has given me a solid financial foundation so I can continue to pursue my dreams. But my story is just one of many. Here at Farmingdale State College and across SUNY, financial assistance is not merely about funding education. It's about empowering students and providing the tools to help them excel both academically and financially. I like to say you can ace your exams and still balance tuition, books, and school supplies too. It's about equity and ensuring that everyone, regardless of their economic background, has the access and the resources to pursue higher education without the crushing burden of debt. So, as we reflect on the power of financial assistance in shaping the futures of many students like myself, let us remember that investment in education is investment in our future leaders, and enabling students like me to work towards their goals and ultimately pursue their dreams. Thank you for coming to Farmingdale State College, and thank you for listening to me.